Back in the building. Happy Thursday to y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what day it is. You know what we're getting into. That Throwback Thursday edition. Two classic albums. One for the females, one for the males. Cultural and personal impact. And where are they now? But before that, you know what we got to do. Let's start the proceedings this evening. First off, you know what you got to do. If you haven't done so, get your family, friends, co-workers, church members, whoever. Tell them go follow that YouTube page, 410 Josh, hip hop underscore 4123. Like, share, subscribe, comment. And also follow me on Instagram, the real 410 Josh. Get all my updates and when I'm dropping and any latest content, any new announcements I'm coming. Um, Letting y'all know now. I'm working on a deal to get my podcast uploaded to Apple, YouTube, and Apple and Spotify. So I'm about to really, take this thing off. I'm trying to compete with the big dogs, even though, I'm still in the beginning stages. I'm the type of person where I'm gonna go full fledged and I'm going all the way in with this. So be on the lookout because I might be on y'all Apple Music account. Um, so we're gonna start this evening. We got two classic favorite albums personally. Um, and we're gonna start with I did this artist. I think she was my second artist that I did for the Throwback Thursday. Um, and it is the legendary, iconic Missy Elliott with her third album, Missy So Addictive, that dropped May 15th in 2001. So this album this year is going to be 23 years old. Um, I remember when this album first came out. I think I told everybody how I found out about Missy Elliott. Um, but if you don't remember, she was an artist that a lot of the girls was playing in high school, and everybody was talking about her. She was one of those artists that all the females knew her songs, and then I started listening to it, and I became a fan. But this album, Missy So Addictive, this is probably her best body of work. Missy got an incredible catalog, but this album had some of the biggest singles that she had. Um, the first single definitely the standout. I think is a fan favorite, everybody's favorite, is "Get Your Freak On." That beat is just so infectious. When you hear it, it's really simple. So it's like the minute you hear it, you drawn into it. So when you hear it, it's like Missy is coming with something completely left field, something that nobody else started doing, and it's fun, it's funky, it's definitely something like you not expecting, but you should be expecting because it's Missy Elliott. The album really is a classic. It's one of those. It's a classic for the club makers, like '90s clubs. Like if you was in the clubs in the '90s and you was going out as a teenager or you as a young adult, this definitely was in rotation. I mean, you had Get Your Freak On, you had 1 Minute Man with Ludacris, and then Jay-Z did the remix of that song. You had Lick Shots, you had Dog and Heat with Meth and Red. Missy Meth and Red always, gave you a banger. Um, Takeaway with Genuine, that was a real smash hit. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest Genuine fan, but on this song, I definitely was feeling it. For My People with Eve, um, Old School Joint, What You Gonna Do with Timberland, Slap 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 with the Brat. Um, it's just like top to bottom, High Ground with Kim Burrell. Um, the whole album it's a banger from top to bottom. Um, Cultural impact, like I said, this album really turned up the clubs. Like it was when Get Your Freak On came on, it was over. Like You ran to the dance floor. The ladies ran to the dance floor. Everybody was getting their freak on. This might have been when freak dancing for the '90s probably started, probably because everybody was talking about getting your freak on. So like that's really the cultural impact. Missy had already made a huge impact on the game with Super Duper Fly and her second album. But this one just took her to like international superstar, megastar. Like this, I think what solidified her is one of the pioneers when it comes to hip hop as far as females. Um, and where is she now? Missy had been dealing with, I guess, some type of illness for years. I think it was Crohn's disease, where she couldn't really write and she had problems with her hands. Um, and she did drop an EP a little while ago called Iconology. It was pretty good. It was pretty decent. Um, she got back to songwriting, but she definitely is like when you think about female hip hop artists, she's usually in the top 3 to 5. Maybe I've never seen Missy really lower than like 6 for most fans. Like she really is like a top, um, she's like one of our top artists. You know, most people wouldn't say she's a quote unquote lyricist, but she is a lyricist in her own way. But I think her artistry, production, songwriting, visuals, it's like you just can't compete with her. She's very hers. Well, she's the female Busta Rhymes. Like if George Clinton had a granddaughter, it's Missy Elliott. You know, so she, all respect, to Missy Elliott for Missy So Addictive. Definitely a club banger, classic hip hop album, and it's a must have if you don't have it. Now the second one is one of my all time favorites, and it's an album that I honestly was playing like not even before the day, because when I do these throwbacks, I do go back and listen to the albums and kind of get that feeling back of when I first heard of the artist or I became a fan. But this is an album that I still play time to time. It is crazy because I'm gonna tell you a funny story real quick. I had actually I was out. Me and my son were out somewhere. I think we was with my uncle's son. I think we was in Owens Mills, and I was playing, and he asked me what I was listening to, and I let him hear it, and he became a fan of this group and this album. Um, and this album that I'm talking about is M.O.P. first album, To the Death. Um, wow. So the first how I found out about M.O.P. Um, I found out about M.O.P. I believe through the Box, old school music video channel. So actually, yeah, it was the Box. Um, it was their hit single "How About Some Hardcore," and it was like I was looking at the video and it was in black and white. It was grimy. These dudes had on hoodies. They looked scary. They looked like dudes at the time, because I was a kid. It looked like they could really beat my ass. And I was just like, ah. But, and I think it's because this was later, because this album dropped in 1994. So, like when I saw this video and how grimy it was, and like I was just like, okay, these guys are serious. And when you do back then you did your little research, and when you brought an album, you looked at the CD, you read, looked at the cover, I found out like these were they were from Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, and and I was always talking, like I would talk to friends and people, and I was like, yeah, I heard of this group M.O.P. They from Brownsville, and they were like, you know about Brownsville? I'm like, what's wrong? They hard. He was like, and it's like I would be talking to different people. They was like, sure, Brownsville is a place you definitely do not want to go. Like people would talk to me, and I would talk to them about M.O.P. and where they was from. They would always tell me that is a place you do not want to go. No, people, when you go to New York, you stay away from Brownsville. And even to this day, some of my friends, when I talk to them, that ones is from New York, they'll tell you Brownsville. You know, their motto is never ran with, never will. Where the Warriors play, it's a place you do not want to go. You stay completely away from it if you don't want no problems, because it just get like that. But this album, To the Death, this album is like one of the cornerstones of East Coast hardcore hip hop. I don't even want to say East Coast, just hardcore hip hop in general. This is like textbook 101 hardcore hip hop. I mean, the first single, How About Some Hardcore? You know, just how about some hardcore? Yeah, we like it raw. Like produced by DR Period, the whole album. It's like if you wanted to know what hardcore hip hop was about, this is where you start. I mean, the whole album, top to bottom, nothing but grimy, gutter, 1990s Brooklyn hip hop music. You know, Rugged Never Smooth, Heist Masters, Blue Steel, To the Death, This Is Your Brain, Drama Lord, Fake Ass Gangster, Guns N' Roses, Positive Influences, Who is M.O.P. The whole album, top to bottom, is just flawless, hardcore, grimy hip hop music. And the cultural impact it had on me was these guys, I ain't gonna lie, when I was a kid, they kind of scared me. They made me like, oh yeah, I don't want to run into them on the street because these dudes look like they gonna rob you, beat you to death, kill you, stomp you out, whatever. Like M.O.P. is like the epitome of hardcore hip hop. They might be the last real and original hardcore hip hop group because they have never changed their sound or deviated from what they do. They're one of the best. If you rank hip hop duos, they're probably top 5. I can make the case M.O.P. might be the greatest hardcore hip hop group. I got a strong case for that because the catalog speaks for itself, the lyrics speak for itself. They maintain their fan base and their sound throughout the years, never change, and still can give you a banger top to bottom. Um, the cultural impact was this album, I believe, put Brooklyn on the map. Now I know most people are gonna say Boot Camp Click, Black Moon, M.O.P. Yes, but I also did a little research. Is that I think Black Moon, they were from Bushwick. They still from Brooklyn. They still got a grimy sound, but as far as Brownsville, Brooklyn, M.O.P. put that on the map because this album was like they gave you a glimpse into a world that you had never heard of before, never been to, and made it like you don't want to go to this place. Um, where are they now? M.O.P. did a Drink Champs interview last year. I'm sorry, not last year. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry, it was last year, right before Christmas. And They still together. They still touring. They've had, an amazing run. They've got, classic albums. They've done some solo work. Fizzy Womack, Lil Fame, like he produces, and he has, he's worked with other artists like Terminology. Dan's has, been doing some solo work. So hopefully we get a new M.O.P album because they really are like one of the best. And honestly, you can argue they are the greatest hardcore hip hop group of all time, or hardcore hip hop duo of all time. Um, so yeah, definitely M.O.P. You gotta acknowledge them because they in a time they've been able to maintain who they are through every era. Like they were signed with G Unit, they were signed with Rockefeller. Like everybody tried to get them to do different types of records, mainstream type records. Like Annie Up was probably their biggest hit. But it crossed over, but it's a grimy crossover record. It's not a pop record. It's not a record that you can throw on with your girl and chill. It's like this is like how the songs start off. Take rings off, take jeans off, take things off, everything off. And fool what you want. We stay grilling fools. Fool what you want. Your life with your jewels. The whole song's about a robbery. They robbing everybody in sight. So that should just tell you the type of fans and the type of integrity that they got for their music. They not changing nothing no matter what the era is. So much respect to both of them. Much respect to Missy Elliott for Missy So Addictive, turning up the clubs and you know getting having everybody have fun at a young great time. And shout out to M.O.P for just maintaining who they are, being grimy, gutter, unapologetically hardcore, and withstanding the test of time. So and that's be it tonight for the Throwback Thursday edition. Y'all know I'm gonna be back tomorrow with the Friday album reviews and releases. And again, if you haven't done so, follow me on YouTube, 410 Josh, hip hop underscore 4123. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Follow me on Instagram at the real 410 Josh. Y'all have a good night. Catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.